sequence in the movie is really only missing a vulgar. It's definitely an oversight. I wonder, has anyone asked him about it? This was the first tweet that started the discourse about gay or queer representation in Sinners. I think it's...
So you're mad at Ryan Coogler because Sinners wasn't gay enough? The time period was in the early 1900s or mid whatever, or whenever time it was, and y'all worried about it being gay? That's your problem? Not the racial undertones, not the true message behind it, not the colonization, none of that, but it not being gay. All right, bro. I say what's good, you too. I say what's good, you too. I say what's good, you too. It's your boy 3 Stacks. Say what's good, you too. It's your boy 3 Stacks. What's good, YouTube? It's time to react. And today we have a video titled Ryan Coogler is getting canceled over this. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Oscars, and all of a sudden, Ryan Coogler is receiving criticism for his lack of inclusion, while his politics and views on the LGBTQ community have been put under a microscope.
Just somebody voguing would have been a very simple, easy ad. It would have taken nothing away from the film.
And Ryan Coogler himself won an Oscar for Best Screenplay, which is a monumental achievement for a black director telling an unapologetically black story. You would think this will be a moment of celebration, not just for the film or the cast, but for the culture as a whole. But instead, one viral tweet about a lack of inclusion, and suddenly the discourse around Sinners completely shifted.
This conversation is coming about after this black man won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. I don't like that. How it feels kind of like a backhanded, like, oh yeah, congratulations, this is a wonderful work. But no, that's not how this works. That's not how this works.
The focus was no longer celebratory or on the success or achievement of Sinners and Ryan Coogler, which kind of all highlights this crab in the barrel mentality that we've seen too many times.
Y'all do not want Ryan Coogler to tell y'all stories or to represent y'all.
Right.
Stop it. You just want to complain.
Where instead of just uplifting a win or celebrating somebody achieving something great, people start intentionally looking for reasons to not like them or to tear them down.
What we absolutely are not about to do is do this with the Ryan Coogler on this day, 2 days after he made history as only the second black man to win Best Original. We just not about to do this.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it. The Sinners dance sequence in the movie is really only missing a vulgar. It's definitely an oversight. I wonder, has anyone asked him about it? This was the first tweet that started the discourse about gay or queer representation in Sinners. I think it's...
So you're mad at Ryan Coogler because Sinners wasn't gay enough? The time period was in the early 1900s or mid whatever, or whenever time it was, and y'all worried about it being gay? That's your problem? Not the racial undertones, not the true message behind it, not the colonization, none of that, but it not being gay. All right, bro.
Worded interesting though, especially it's definitely an oversight part. There are a bunch of different cultures, subcultures, genres, subgenres in the black community, from music to dance to lifestyle, that were not represented in that specific moment, in that specific scene, which in my opinion is one of the greatest scenes in cinema history. It's my favorite, hands down. But I think anybody can say that about anything that they represent or love that's not represented in that moment in the film, right? There weren't tap dancers in there. If you're from the DMV, nobody was beating their feet in there. They didn't have hyphy dancing in there. Ryan Coogler is from Oakland. It's just so many people that weren't represented in that one specific moment in time in that scene, which makes sense.
And voguing ain't like no freaking like cultural thing. Like, that's just something that it might have came from something cultural, but that's not something like ancestral. Like, show me. Look. I am very big on admitting when I'm wrong. If you can show me something from African culture or even African American culture or anything from back in the day from our ancestors that shows that voguing is an ancestral dance, I will shut up. I'm not going to say nothing else, but I will admit that I was wrong. So if you can find that, put that in the comments. But other than that, bro, like this, bro, people just be wanting to be mad for no reason, cuz.
That's because Ryan was telling a very specific story about a very specific moment in time, and the through line just being black music or culture in that way. So of course it's not going to represent everything. And I don't think Ryan Coogler has to represent every single thing in his films. No filmmaker, no white filmmaker is asked to represent every single thing. So it's definitely like an unfair suggestion or ask. But like I said, I don't think this one specific tweet was bad or offensive or anything like that. But of course, with 1 million views, it caused a ton of reactions and responses to it. And just from the comments under that tweet alone, you can kind of see the discourse. Why the fuck would they have a vulgar?
Literally.
They'll have to fix it when it comes to Broadway. They'll have to fix it. It's just really interesting. It's like a built-in entitlement.
And this
that
is
it
a
has to
white
be a certain
woman.
way. When it doesn't, it's somebody else's vision. It can be however they want to make it. I was thinking it was missing a drag performance as well. Again, anybody that wasn't represented is going to feel like, oh, well, it can also include that, but it doesn't
we're
have
losing
to.
the plot.
Somebody tweeted that the big dance sequence in Sinners should have included someone voguing. And that conversation turned into people critiquing Ryan Coogler and the lack of queerness in his films. And this critique has led to a lot of backlash, primarily people saying that it is not Coogler's responsibility to portray every black subculture in his films.
True.
And I find that critique actually kind of silly
Why is
because
that?
in that dance sequence in particular, we saw so many different subcultures, so many different black subcultures, that inserting queerness, which really, as that person initially tweeted, it's just somebody voguing, would have been a very simple, easy.
But it wouldn't have been important. They was having African dancing. They were having hip hop dancing. They were having ballet. Cool. That is big genres of dancing that was popular in the black community. You're talking about voguing, dog. And that has nothing to do with culture. That is with your gender, or not even gender. That is your sexual preference. Like that is how you like, dog. I'm not finna be gaslit. I'm not finna be gaslit, bro. We're like, that's what we're not finna do. We're not finna 2026 up Sinners. Like, that's what we're not finna do. Y'all, if you really want to get mad and really want to do that, bro, you can go to Sora AI and you can type in Sinners and put in add queer people. That's all you got to do, bro.
The ad. It would have taken nothing away from the film. And I really want people to sit with why they think black queerness is not a canon event. Black queer people did not fall out of a coconut tree. And they for sure existed in 1930s Mississippi Delta.
You're
But that
probably
tweet
right.
and the discourse around it really led to the next one, which I think was a lot more divisive. I would like to know Ryan Coogler's politics around queerness, though. He is a film director, just like any other film director, and he speaks through his art, through his medium. I've never heard this question or demand directed at Martin Scorsese or Steven Spielberg. They never asked Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Taylor Sheridan, or Steven Spielberg what their personal politics are and thoughts on gayness. But when it comes to a successful black man from Richmond telling his stories, now this is needed. That is my point exactly. He's telling his stories from his life experience, the things he's been inspired by. The twins Smoke and Stack, I believe, were connected to his uncles or his aunts. It's just really weird that all of a sudden this is a problem that Ryan Coogler has to address, or it's taking Sinners down a peg because it didn't have this specific representation, when that wasn't the story it was telling.
A lot of people are highlighting how Ryan Coogler doesn't have a lot of queer representation in his work. I would like to draw our attention to something else, and that's the amount of vulnerability and relationship and closeness that we've seen between black men, the affection that we've seen between black men. I cannot, that has been sitting with me for these last couple of days. When you saw the way that they embraced each other when they won the awards, the way that they talked to each other when they're on the press junket before the movie was out, while the movie was in theaters, and during this awards campaign season, that you don't see a lot of black men being vulnerable and open and embracing each other like that. And I would be remiss to not say when we're having conversations about representation, particularly with queer folks, particularly with Black queer folks, you want to ensure that safety and representation are not mutually exclusive, meaning that they need to both exist at the same time, right? And one of the ways that we have to challenge homophobia in our communities is through addressing the way that men show up, addressing masculinity. We cannot create safe environments for representation to flourish if we're not challenging the way that men historically show up in our communities. We can't. It's also kind of unfair to put the onus on him to be the one to create spaces for queer representation if that's not a space or a community that he exists in. Now, I think there's an opportunity or for a conversation to say, like, can we platform more queer artists, whether that's actors or folks who work behind the scenes, writers, producers, cameramen, whatever the case may be. And it's also, who's to say that they haven't? We don't know who's working behind the scenes as closely.
And also, if he doesn't want to make a movie about queer artists or this, that, and the third, whoop-de-doo. He's the movie director. He's the man with the plan. He's the one that makes the films. So if he doesn't want to do it, it's not going to be done. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. If that's something that is very dear to you, cool. Find that in another filmmaker. But dog, what you're not like, what we're not going to do is try and put all of these things on one person to find an issue. It was a great movie. Y'all liked it for the purpose that it was made for. Stop trying to make more problems. Like, if you want to critique and say add it in the future, cool. But don't critique him for something that he already made. That wasn't the point of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm tripping. Y'all can call me a hater. Y'all can call me whatever y'all want, but y'all tripping.
As we do who's on screen.
And again, I think these tweets come in directly after the biggest moment in a Black director's life with this monumental film that kind of represented and put on for Black culture as a whole. Feels kind of disingenuous, like people trying to purposely steal the spotlight or bring down the moment for Sinners, Ryan Coogler, and the cast.
Literally.
What I
and
struggle
he just
with
won. Why don't y'all
is
say it
that
before?
This conversation is coming about after this Black man won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
Literally.
And has the most nominated movie in Oscar history. I don't like that. How it feels kind of like a backhanded, like, oh yeah, congratulations, this is a wonderful work, but no, that's not how this works. That's not how this works.
You had 14 years to express his concern, but did it on his biggest night. While it can be a valid concern that I don't care about, it's disingenuous due to the timing. Nah, I did it when Black Panther 2 came out as well. You're just a stranger looking for a moment of engagement on the timeline. Maybe specifically he did bring up this same question back then, but I don't think that's the case that anybody responding to this tweet with a confusion or question is looking for a moment. And this interaction had me dying because I'm just so confused. Why? Y'all got Tyler Perry. Fuck you.
Literally.
Fuck you and Tyler Perry.
You got Tyler
a lot
Perry.
of responses to that tweet were really interesting. People don't do this to any other demographic when they achieve great things. That is 100% facts. All of a sudden, when a Black person achieves something, they're responsible or have to put the whole entire culture on their back or have all these demands placed on them for representation. But Black males always need to be problematized. I wonder why.
Y'all do not want Ryan Coogler to tell y'all stories or to represent y'all. Stop it. No, you do not want that. You just want discourse. You just want to complain. You just want to say something on the motherfucking internet.
Okay.
Stop it.
Stop it.
If y'all really cared that much about gay representation, y'all would not have let Noah's Ark movie flop. And that's all I'm gonna say.
And then people start going even deeper with it. Absence of queers and sinners is simply the average Black heterosexual imagination of Black history. I don't know how that statement even applies to anything. Sinners didn't say gay people or queerness didn't exist. It told a very streamlined story about I can't believe I'm even having to explain this. It told a very streamlined story about two brothers coming back to their hometown in the South from Chicago and trying to build something of their own in a racist Jim Crow time period. Not to mention, it's a fucking vampire movie.
It's a vampire
Can we relax? Despite that, black, trans, and queer are all up and through Reconstruction and post-Reconstruction history onward. The first trans woman to testify before Congress was a former slave. It's like he's making a completely separate argument.
What does that have to do with anything? Oh my, bro. All I can do is pray for people like y'all, man. Like, that's all I can do is pray for people like you, bro. Because it's like, why are we trying to push that gay agenda so bad? The movie was not about gayness. If the movie was, it would be different if the movie was about queer people or was about people who were queer and he changed it and just made it a heterosexual person but gave it the same story. Cool. Okay. Then I'm on your side. I get it. That's crazy. But bro, we're not finna push queerness in this gay agenda onto this movie centers when it has nothing to do with that, bro. Okay, it's interchangeable. Go to Sora AI. Straight like that.
Because who argued that any of that wasn't real or wasn't happening? It just wasn't a specific story being told. My brother in
Literally.
Christ, Sinners was not a historic reenactment of black history.
It was a vampire movie. Literally.
Y'all just need to be honest and say you're looking for a reason to tear down Ryan Coogler because he is a successful black man. Not only that, the dude is a black man, doesn't code switch, tells his stories, employs his people, is married to a beautiful black woman. So why are we nitpicking this man all of a sudden? Why are we judging Sinners for the things that it doesn't include instead of all the greatness that it is?
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt.
I'm gay, and I genuinely enjoy seeing gay representation in the media, especially when it comes to black gays and black queer and black LGBT, LMNP, all that. I genuinely love it. But what we not about to do, we absolutely are not about to do, is do this with the Ryan Coogler this day, 2 days after he
literally
made history as only the second black man to win Best Original. We just not about to do this. Ryan Coogler, to me, is one of the greatest directors and filmmakers and writers, whatever you want to call it, that this world has ever seen and the world is going to ever see. But then I started kind of seeing tweets, or whatever you want to call it, where people are basically demanding and saying that, oh, he needs to make LGBT aimed content. How you going to tell this man what he needs to make? I don't think that's how that works.
Literally. Literally. He got this far doing what he wanted to do and the stories that he wanted to portray, gang. Bro, there's plenty of movies out here, gang. If you don't like what he's doing, bro, leave him alone. Simple as that. Loser.
The thought process of some of y'all, baby, I will never, ever understand. Because in what world does that make any sense that you're going to try to force somebody to make anything for your liking? Is you cool?
Y'all do this thing where a black person makes it, achieving a new height of success. You throw every single issue affecting black people on their shoulders, then criticize them for not solving or addressing it all. Stop it. There were Asians in Sinners, right? There were Asians in the dance sequence, right? Okay, because I was just wondering. And the responses to some of these is just funny. Yeah, we should cancel him because he didn't have black people in wheelchairs spinning in circles and popping willies to represent the disabled black community. That is kind of how all of this sounds. The Ryan Coogler LGBTQ conversation is stupid and misguided. He doesn't need to make any queer-focused content, nor should he be obligated to even feature queer characters. What he should do is mentor and uplift black queer writers and galvanize their work. Even that, the entitlement and what he should do. Ryan Coogler doesn't have to do anything for anybody. The only thing he has to do is stay black and die. I think the demanding part of this is really disingenuous and entitled because Ryan Coogler is a creative putting on for his culture and his life experience. The dude has been nothing but respectful, nothing but fair, and a good representation for black people. That's all we can ask. Ryan Coogler has only directed 5 features. That's crazy. I thought it was 6, but he didn't direct Creed 2, I don't think. So it was Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther 2, and then Sinners. Yeah, 5. He included queer representation in 2 of them. He was respectful to black women in front and behind the camera, and today he's getting torn apart. It shows no matter what effort or outreach you make, it doesn't matter. See how people create issues where there just isn't one. In response to that original tweet, no, you don't. You're actually secretly hoping that he's homophobic so you can have a reason to hate him because you probably feel he's gotten more successful than a nigga has any right to be. No one has to secretly hope anything. He's an Oakland nigga who played football in college. He has ignored and never included LGBTQ in his film. So now they're just making an assumption that he's homophobic out of absolutely nowhere. He probably says pause in conversations. I don't get why we need to play dumb on this in the first place, to be honest. Crazy. movie. It's weird how every time queer black people ask to be represented in stories that are supposedly about all walks of black life, Sinners was not about all walks of black life. It was a very specific story about the Delta, about two brothers, about vampires, fucking vampires. I think people keep getting lost in that. The greater black community acts like they're asking for too much. It's not wrong to ask why there's not a clear queer dance in Sinners. It was much more than asking about the dance in Sinners. It was questioning his political beliefs and where he stands with the queer community. But I think this tweet really hits the nail on the head for this topic in a lot of ways. Sinners is not and was not about all walks of black life, though. No film is, so why did that even become a thing? Expecting any piece of art to reflect all walks of any group's lives is the problem. Like, that's not the whole issue right there. Everybody stop projecting. At the end of the day, Ryan Coogler has done nothing but make great films and represent the black community well. He doesn't owe anything to anyone. I get the idea of wanting to be represented and wanting representation on screen for yourself and your community, but demanding that from one specific director for absolutely no reason, especially if he has no ties to that specific community, and then questioning his views on things, calling him homophobic with no evidence, is all just a bunch of reaches and a bridge way too far. Ryan Coogler has done nothing but be great for black people. But shout out to my...
Yo, listen, man. We're losing the plot, man. If you don't want to watch a movie, bro, don't watch the movie. If you don't like the person who makes the movies, don't watch their movies. Like, gang, just go on about your day. If you don't like it, you don't gotta watch it. It's your TV, it's your phone, it's your whatever. But at the end of the day, it's your boy 3 Station on QB1000. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. God bless you. And on to the next one. Peace.
I got big packs coming on the way. I got big stacks coming out to save. I got Lil Max with me, he the wave. It's a big gap between us in the game. In the next life, I'm trying to stay paid. When I die, put my